The real estate market is falling apart. Well, that's what I'm hearing on the news, but that's not what I'm seeing around here. Let's check it out. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say a quick hello. My name is Jeremy Tremblay. I'm a local realtor that works here in the Belleville, Quinte West, and surrounding areas. If you have any questions after this video, definitely reach out. My information can be found down below in the description. Send me an email, give me a call or send me a text. I'd love to chat a little bit more. Let's get to it. All right, so as we said, we're going to look at a few of the stats that have come in to see what's going on in this local market compared to what we're hearing on the news with respect to the Canadian real estate market. Specifically today, we're going to look at the stats for the month of June here in Quinte West and Belleville. And so if you're unaware of where this area is, if you go look in Toronto, the GTA area, and then you head east on Highway 401, about an hour and a half, you're going to hit Quinte West, Belleville, Prince Edward County area. That's what we're talking about. Specifically, we're going to look at stats from Belleville and Quinte West because I think that best summarizes this area right here. 4 quick stats to give you a good overview, and then afterwards I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing on the ground in this area in the real estate market. Let's get to it. We're going to start by first looking at the months of inventory. This stat is often used to let you know whether it's a balanced market or a buyer seller's market. Specifically, this takes into account the total number of sales and the total number of active listings. It's a ratio. What does it really mean? Between 0 and 3 months, that's generally a seller's market. 3 to 5 months of inventory, you're kind of in the balance range. And then once you hit over 5 months of inventory, then you're into the buyer's range. So those are very generic numbers. There are more factors, but this is the stat they're often using. And when you look at this month here, we're going to see June, almost no change from last month. So we've had May into June, we're around 3.6 months of inventory. If we look back into June of 2024, look at that, right around 3.5 months of inventory. And so still very much in that balance range. Now, going forward, we look at the average sale price. If you don't know this area and you're not sure really what houses are selling for, this is going to give you a rough idea. Now, of course, there's going to be the outliers, especially that's why I don't include Prince Edward County, because there are a lot of higher price homes that sell, which can throw these numbers out of skew. But this past month, June 2025, we were up to $585,000 as the average sale price. When comparing that to June of 2024, where we were below $550,000, definitely an uptick there. And for those that don't like average, like the median for this month is around $575,000. So very close to that average as well. Then we have the number of sales. This one is quite surprising to many people because once again, hearing in the news versus the reality. This past month, June 25, we have 156 total sales. And that is down slightly from the month of May where we were just over 160 total sales. But then look at June 2024. We were around 130 total sales. So actually right now, houses are still moving as we can see here. And then finally, we have days on market. Very good stat to know if you're going to be selling or really buying. It's very helpful to know what's going on within every market with respect to days on market. How long does it take to sell a home? And this is where we're going to see right now, June came in at 34 days on the market, a little bit of an uptick from last month. So we're still around that 1 month, and that's very similar to where we were last June. And so looking at all these stats, it doesn't seem like real estate is falling apart in the Belleville, Quinte West area. Sales are healthy. The average price is still healthy. The days on markets, the months of inventory, all seem healthy and very much balanced. So the question is, how does this line up with what we're hearing in the news? Well, there are a few different factors here. And one thing that isn't shown in this is the sentiment. Buyers' sentiment and sellers and such has been down. Because you hear about the tariffs and all the trade wars and everything else. And that's a big factor because when people are thinking about selling, thinking about buying, they're going to base their decision on something. They're going to talk to people like a realtor, or they're going to read the news. And that is a large factor of what's happening. There is a slight uptick at this point in the news saying that sentiment is starting to rise a little bit and recover. We'll see if that lasts. But at this point, that's playing a part in it. The other factor that I'm telling people to really be aware of is that houses are still selling around here, and I hear this in other areas as well, but price is extremely important. It was at a point in the past where you put it up for a price and people are kind of chasing, whereas right now, the buyers are all there. The buyers, they're ready to buy, but because of that sentiment, they're being a little bit more choosy, and they're kind of trying different homes. So they're still going to be buying, but they're going to be looking for the seller that's ready to sell at the right price. Whereas the sellers that are kind of saying, no, I'm going to stick to my number, well, it's going to take longer to sell at this point because those buyers aren't as eager to come up to their number. And so we're still seeing the sales. This area specifically, I mentioned before, we have a lot of military. And so they have to sell, or they're coming here, they have to buy, and they're trying to find that zone where they can meet in the middle. And that's what's keeping this market healthy. Now, one other factor that we're going to want to continue going forward here, looking at, is going to be interest rates. We've been seeing that there's been a lot of talk. The Bank of Canada held steady, didn't lower the interest rate like many thought. They've been talking about lowering the interest rate another maybe 2 times in this cycle, which is another 0.5%. But at the same time, some banks are coming out and saying, no, they might be done. They're going to stay right where they are. And at which point, all those that are waiting, thinking, oh, I'll wait for rates to come down because I can afford more, well, that might not really have much of a change. So this may be the environment that you're going to be in, and people are going to have to plan on this being the standard. Housing prices might not go up, but they also might not drop much more. It very well may be steady. Many are talking about the 90s. Where home prices really didn't appreciate much at all. And they're saying, are we in another one of those cycles right now? And it's possible. No one really knows. The political situation seems to have a lot of effect on what's going on. And we're going to have to wait and see. But as I mentioned, everyone that's coming to this area, you can only make your decision based on the knowledge you have today, not based on what you're predicting in the future, because nobody knows. And so if you do have more questions about this, you're thinking about moving to the Belleville, Trenton, Prince Edward County area, you want to chat about it a little bit more and say, hey, if the market's healthy, is now a good time to get involved, or is now a good time to be selling? Let's have that chat. And let's talk about it a little bit more and go in depth. My information down below. Finally, if you've lasted this long, I really appreciate it. And you'd really help me out if you could hit that little thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Go check out my channel. Till next time.